Welcome to Other Levels. Today, we're going to learn how you can create this animated personal finance tracker using Microsoft Excel. Use this dashboard to follow your behavior. Customize your own categories, amounts and bill due dates. It will help you to pay all your bills on time with the unpaid bills notification. Get a complete analysis of your income and expenses, so you can follow the progress of your goals and track your annual net worth. Sync and access your dashboard across device, so you can switch between your phone and laptop seamlessly. You can get this template by visiting our online store, other-levels.com. And also to download the dashboard dataset for your training and practicing. These are the color codes used in the design and the font type as a body. All our dashboard's template features are working in all versions of Excel. Let's start by collecting the required data. The first column includes the months for which data has been recorded. The first 25 rows include January data. Next rows include February data and so on until December month. Second column includes the main type data, that is expenses and income. Next column included different category for expenses like housing, transportation, and personal. And for the income we have only the main and side incomes. This way the fourth column includes subcategory for each category like cleaning, electric, insurance, etc. for housing. School loans, shopping, outing, for the personal expenses. Cleaning, gas, etc. for transportation. Salary, my shop for main income. E-commerce, Google AdSense for the side income. Fifth column includes amount, wherein red color indicates expenses and green color indicates incomes. Sixth column indicates bill due date and seventh column indicates status of bill which is paid and late. We also have other data which includes income goals set for monthly income and total assets held on hand. Let's begin creating an income and expense report. We will start preparing the background. Format the cell color for whole background. Disable the grid lines. We will be creating a background mix of different shapes and colors on the top. Not only the shapes but color combos which we are going to use are to be taken into consideration. This way we can create a beautiful visual. Let's insert a rectangle shape from Insert menu and change the color to Brink Pink. Now duplicate the shape and change its size. Also change fill type to pattern. Select the diagonal pattern and change the foreground and background colors. Now duplicate the rectangle and set a different color and size for it. Similarly, duplicate the below rectangle and change the fill type to solid Remy color. Now, let's add another different shape type like circles. Remove outline color. Adjust the shape to small size and fill it with Remy color. Move this on the first rectangle. Duplicate this rectangle 4 times. That looks outstanding. Let's now insert a different shape like partial circle and convert it to semicircle. We will remove the outline and change the shape to green Vogue color. Move and resize it to fit in the rectangle shape. Group the rectangle and semicircle together. Next, duplicate the diagonal pattern rectangle and move it to the top. Now, duplicate the below rectangle and change the shape color to gray. Align both the rightmost rectangle to right. We need to add a new different shape like triangles. Let's rotate it by 90 degrees. Now remove the outline and change to brink pink color. Adjust the shape size to move it to top. Now duplicate this triangle and rotate it to 270 degrees. Change the shape color to highlight both triangles differently. Group both the triangles and duplicate it. Move it below and change the downside triangle color. Let's now duplicate the rectangle and change its color. Again, duplicate this rectangle. Move it to top and change its color. Now we will insert 2 rectangles with different color on top side. Resize it to half the current height. Now duplicate this half-size rectangle and set a different color to it. Group both rectangles, then adjust their size properly. Let's duplicate the rectangle with double the rectangle width. Change the shape fill color. We will now create a new shape combo using rectangle and triangle. Place a rectangle in above. Now, duplicate a triangle. Rotate it to 180 degrees and place it on this rectangle. Reduce the triangle size to detach from the rectangle bottom. It's time to create another new shape. Let's duplicate both the rectangles and semicircle. Rotate the semicircle to 180 degrees. Then place it over the rectangle on the downside and set a Remy color to it. Now, we will create a different look from the existing shape combo. Duplicate these two shapes and group them together. Flip them horizontally to make it look differently. Now duplicate the two triangles shape and place it besides the previous. As done previously, flip this horizontally and change the shape's color. Now duplicate a rectangle to place it above. Change the shape color to green Vogue, which is same as below triangle. Finally, duplicate these 4 circles for another rectangle. The next step is to add a border for the dashboard. Let's add a rounded rectangle from Insert menu and adjust the height and width to cover the full dashboard. Adjust the rounded part and remove the shape color. Now, increase the border width to 26.75, then change the border color to gray. Select all the shapes and group them together, to be remained intact with each other. The corners of the border are left due to the rounded edge of the rectangle. Let's insert a triangle and rotate it to 90 degrees. We will move the triangle side to top left corner. Remove the outline, then change the shape color to gray, same as border color. Duplicate this triangle. Rotate the shape back to 0 degrees and place it in the bottom left corner. Add another triangle. Rotate the shape to 270 degrees and place it in the bottom right corner. Finally, place it in the top right corner. Let's group all the corners, background shapes and borders together. Now, we must set the properties to not move or size with cells for intact background. Next, let's select the whole worksheet and set the row height to 20. It's time to create the navigation pane to move between the dashboard and reports. We will insert a rounded rectangle shape and format it. Remove the outline. Change the color to black currant, then adjust the size and rounded part. I would like to move the background downwards below the border. And do some enhancements. It's time to add details of the person whose finance dashboard is being prepared. So, let's insert a text box and add the person's name. Align it to middle and left. Change the font type and color. We don't need the shape fill color. Increase the font size to 18. Finally, remove the shape outline and adjust the position. Duplicate it and add the current job title. Next, let's insert his personal picture in creative way. We will crop the picture and place it in the rectangle towards the edge. Here, we complete the background for the dashboard. We will start inserting the data table. Let's go to Sheet 1 and move the income and expenses data table here. The main idea is to change the data input visual to be in beautiful view instead of this usual table. For your information, we will use this table to create the dashboard based on it, so any changes here in this data table will reflect on the main dashboard. Before starting the formatting of the table, we must freeze the background by selecting all shapes and group them together, then format it to not move or size with cells. We will add a slicer instead of keep it as a long list or even using the table filters. Clear the filter for now, until we finish enhancing the data table. We will hide the table header. Instead of it, we'll add the subcategory, amount, bill due date and status using a text boxes. Select the whole data table. Change the font type. Remove all the borders. Disable filter button. Remove the table style by selecting first light style. We will add a separator between headers and data using line shape. And change the dashes to wide lines. Next, we will prepare design for the main type and category. Firstly, insert a rounded rectangle for main type, and make sure that the height covering the whole expense. Duplicate it for the 3 expense categories and adjust each part with height covering different expense categories: housing, personal and transportation. Align the left and bottom object to bottom and distribute 3 expense categories shapes vertically. Let's group it together. Change the color to white. We will add a shadow on bottom left. Increase the transparency by 92%. And 10 for the blur. Finally, adjust the angle to 90 degrees. It's time to input all the main type and categories. We will change color to light red as it is expense category. Similarly, let's add other expense categories and rename it to personal in second category, transportation in third category. Finally, input the expenses in left rounded rectangle. Let's group all together. Repeat the same process for the income category and subcategory, with only change the font color to light green. Hence, we do not require the list for this data. So, we will select column F to I, and make it invisible by changing the font color to the same as the main background color. Disable the headings from View tab. You can see the data change on selection of different month, but not in the same font colors. So clear the slicer filter and use the Format Painter to unify the formatting. It's time to format the status column. Let's add data validation by selecting Status column. Then input the criteria as list with source as paid and late. You can see that we can select the status from the drop-down list and make it easier and more presentable. We need to highlight the unpaid bills. Let's apply conditional formatting rule. Select Classic Style. Format only cells that contain a specific text, late. Format it by selecting font style as regular, and font color as dark orange. Click OK. We will change the font color of whole status column to dark blue, same as other columns. You can see that late and paid appear in different colors and keeps on changing whenever we select from drop-down list. It's time to change slicer format. Please watch the video above to learn how to modify the slicers. Increase the number of columns to 3. Adjust height and width size. The horizontal and vertical position will be the same in the main dashboard slicer. Enable hide items with no data, and disable header. Finally, disable resizing and moving to make it stiff. Here, we complete the slicer formatting. The logo need to be smaller a little bit. It's time to add dashboard sheets on navigation pane. This will enable us to navigate between different sheets. Copy any text box and rename to dashboard. Add 2 more for the income and expenses and assets and goals. Adjust the position and distribute the alignment vertically. Change the font color of current report to white. Add icons related to all the headings. We will add a title for this dashboard below the slicer. Align the font to center and resize it. Duplicate it and add the website link www.other-level.com. We completed the dashboard inputs. Finally, we will provide links to other dashboard sheets. We will give hyperlink to income and expenses. And input screen tip text as income and expenses. Increase the size of the dashboard title to appear it properly. We will select some area below datasheet and change the cell color to gray, which is same as background border color. Apply the same towards right as well. Disable the headings from View tab. We need to hide the small bottom right border appears for the table. Let's move back to Sheet 1 and delete the income and expenses data table. No longer required as it is already available in Income and Expenses report sheet. That's all for today's video. Next week we will be completing the dashboard in one more video. I hope I have shown you something useful for you. Have a good day.